Hello friends, this video on Ray Optics part 31 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 30 before going ahead with part 31. So now let us go ahead and look at the refraction by a convex lens. Here we will see that how exactly the refraction takes place. What exactly happens inside the lens, because the lens is nothing but a combination of two spherical surfaces. So basically what happens is that this lens, here what we will do, we will split this lens into the two spherical surfaces of which it is made up of. So for the first lens, the object is O, and it forms an image, let us say I1. Now this image I1 will act as an object for this spherical surface, and this will then form the final image I. Right? That is how it actually works. So in the next slide, we will look at this refraction by a convex lens in detail. So here I have split the convex lens into the two spherical surfaces of which it is made up of. So this is the first spherical surface. Right? So now we will apply the, let us suppose this is the denser medium, this is my rarer medium. This is with refractive index N2, this has refractive index N1. This is my object O, and let us suppose with this spherical surface it forms an image I1. Then this image I1 will act as an object for the second spherical surface. And so now let us concentrate on the first surface. So we have already derived an expression for refraction by a spherical surface. What was that expression? It was N2 by V minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 by R. Right? Where R was the radius of curvature of the spherical surface, N1 was the refractive index of the medium where the object is located, N2 was the refractive index of the medium where the image was located. Right? And U and V were the image distance and object distance respectively, right? So now we will make use of this expression in this case. So in this case, what is N2? N2 is N2. What is V? V is the image distance. Now in this case, let us assume that this image distance is V1 and this object distance is U. So we will say N2 by V1 minus N1 by U is equal to N2 minus N1 divided by R1, because here the radius of curvature is R1. So let us put this equation as equation number 1. Now let us consider the second scenario. Here also we will make use of this expression, but in this case what happens? The object is on this side where the refractive index is N1. So here the refractive index is N1 here, and the refractive index on this side is N2. So what happens in this case? This I1 acts as an object for this surface. So the ray of light which goes from this object, it looks like as if an incident ray is coming in this way. So when the incident ray comes here, it is moving from a denser medium. This is a denser medium to a rarer medium. As a result, it moves away from the normal. This is normal, so it moves away from the normal, and it meets the principal axis at this point, and therefore the final image is formed here. Okay, so in this case again, we will make use of the same expression with a bit of difference or with a bit of alteration, which is that N1 and N2 gets reversed in this case, because in this case we see that normally the N1 represents the rarer medium and N2 represents the denser medium, but in this case it is moving from denser medium to rarer medium. So since here the movement is taking place from N2 to N1, therefore N1 and N2 will get reversed in this expression. Therefore this expression will become N1 by V, where V is the image distance of the final image. This is V. So this minus N2 by U. What is U? The object distance in this case is V1. Right? This V1. So this will be V1 is equal to N1 minus N2 divided by R2. But in this case, R2 lies on the negative side. So this will be minus R2. So this becomes N1 by V minus N2 by V1 is equal to N2 minus N1 by R2. So this is my equation 2. So now we will add equation 1 and equation 2. So what will happen if I add equation 1 with equation 2? So these two terms will cancel, N2 by V1 and N2 by V1. So I'll be left with, now add equation 1 and 2. So this will give N2 by V1 minus N1 by U minus N2 by V1 plus N1 by V is equal to N2 minus N1 by R1 plus N2 minus N1 by R2. So this N2 by V1 minus N2 by V1 will get cancelled. So we get minus N1 by U plus N1 by V is equal to N2 minus N1 into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is the expression which we get for a diffraction by a convex lens, right? Because this is the expression which we get by combining the equations for the two spherical surfaces. So let us call this equation as equation 3. Now let us suppose that if the object is at infinity, then what will happen? U will be equal to infinity. Therefore, N1 by U will be equal to, will approach to 0. As a result, and also where will the image be formed? If object is at infinity, the image will be formed at the focal length F. So therefore, V will be equal to F. So in that case, this equation will become N1 by F is equal to N2 minus N1 into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So this is the scenario. This would be the expression when the object is at infinity. So let us call this as equation 4. So therefore, now considering the lens as a whole. So consider the lens as a whole. What do we see? Considering the lens as a whole, we will see that R1 is positive. However, R2 is negative. That's very obvious. Let us suppose if this is my lens. So if this is 1 and this is 2, so this is R1 and this is R2. So if R1 is positive, then R2 is negative, right? So taking into consideration this fact, we get, now on this equation, on both the sides, we say 1 by F is equal to N2 minus N1 divided by N1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this is known as the lens maker formula. This expression is known as the lens maker formula, which relates the focal length of the lens with the refractive indices of the two medium and the radii of curvature of the two surfaces forming the lens. So this expression is known as the lens maker formula. 1 by F is equal to N2 minus N1 divided by N1 into 1 by R1 minus 1 by R2. So this is a very important formula which helps us to calculate the focal length of various types of lenses if we know the refractive index of the material of the lens as well as the radii of curvature of the two spherical surfaces which make the lens. There is another formula which is known as the thin lens formula. Actually, the equation 3 which we obtained is the general equation. So the equation 3 which we had obtained, what was the equation 3? This was equation 3. That was nothing but the combination of the two equations which we obtained for the two spherical surfaces. So this equation was the most general equation which described the refraction by a lens, right? So from this equation we derived, considering certain special cases, the lens maker formula. So we derived lens maker formula from this expression. And now with the help of these two expressions, that is this expression and the expression 4, which we obtained for the scenario when the object is at infinity. That time n1 by f is equal to n2 minus n1 into 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. So using these two expressions, we will now derive the thin lens formula. What do I mean by a thin lens? When I assume that a lens is a thin lens, I assume that this distance is very small. This distance, let us suppose this is AB. So we assume that AB is negligibly small. So then it is known as a thin lens. So if we assume the lens to be a thin lens, in that case, from these two expressions, what do we get? From these two, we can combine in that case these two expressions, and we can say that since the right hand side of both the equations are same, so from 3 and 4, we say that minus n1 by u plus n1 by v is equal to n1 by f. Because when we are assuming that this width is extremely small, in that case, we can say that 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. So when we assume that this is very small, in those cases, the distances which we have measured for both the spherical surfaces, they do not help. I mean, in that there is a correction which needs to be done for these width. But when we assume that the lens is very thin, in that case the formula which we have applied so far holds true. So this formula is often known as the thin lens formula, because we simplify this formula taking into consideration this special case when the object is at infinity. Because if the object is at infinity, the image is formed at the focal length. The image is formed at the principal focus. So assuming this, we reduce the formula to this. So therefore, there are two formulas related to a lens. One is the Lensmaker formula, which relates the image distance and object distance to the radii of curvature of the two spherical surfaces. And the other one is the thin lens formula, which can be only applied for thin lenses and which relates the image distance and object distance directly with the focal length, ignoring the two different radii of curvature, because it assumes that the lens is very small. So there is no point considering R1 and R2 separately. So considering R1 and R2 is not required, because we are assuming that it is very thin. So we are not assuming, we are assuming that it is nothing but a spherical surface, right? So we are not assuming it as a lens. Instead, we are assuming it as a spherical mirror. So that is why you see this formula resembles the mirror equation, right? It almost resembles the mirror equation, because if you assume that the thickness of the lens is very negligible, in that case it is no more a lens, right? So we have reduced it to that form. So what does this prove? This proves that lens behaves differently from a spherical mirror only because of the thickness of the lens. Once that thickness is reduced, the two different radii of curvature doesn't play any role, because in that case there is no need of two different radius of curvature, right? Because as your lens goes thinner, it goes thinner, it goes even more thinner, it goes even more thinner, and then it is just like one spherical surface. So it doesn't make any, there is no point considering R1 and R2 separately, right? So this, I hope the thin lens formula is also clear to you now. Okay. So now let us go ahead. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.